It's me, Zenobia darling. You're listening to hashtag Rockstar Life, the Coffee Break podcast. Let's go. Where the hell's my cold brew at? Okay, what's up, guys? I'm here having a coffee break with my friend, Big Nick. I know him from the comedy scene in Happy Grace at the State Theater. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing dandy. So we got a lot to talk about. I'm winging this, pulling this out of my ass. So
yeah, that's fine.
Backstory on this. I had it in my calendar, and then you called me right when I was leaving my day job. And I was like, oh, yeah, I do have that today. So it was good. But you went and got pizza somewhere. We're not going to tell the pizza place, but it was horrible, right?
Like, the pizza was fine, but the guy was grumpy at the counter.
Oh, I hate that.
And then they, not that I need salt on my fries, but they didn't salt them, which is kind of just unusual.
Oh, they didn't put Old Bay on them?
No, they didn't put anything on it. And then they handed me a bottle of ketchup that was pretty much empty. Like, I was getting the ketchup farts, you know, that sound like when you're trying to squeeze it out.
No,
and there's nothing there. And there's nothing on the counter, so I can just go fix it myself. Guy just seemed really inconvenienced that he had to serve me.
Oh, God. And that,
But of course, you have to leave a tip on the iPad for
of
that.
course.
You know what I mean?
Of course.
Like, I would rather walk back in the kitchen and get it myself than to deal with you, man.
Well, I feel like
bud.
the tip place is everywhere. It's like everyone wants a fucking tip. And it's like, I was a server. I'm a good tipper. I know how tipping is. Some of these things, I'm like, do you need the tip? Or are you just trying to get more money? Like,
And so I think that depends totally on the place.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're at a drive-thru, no. If you're at McDonald's, no.
oh, yeah, fuck that.
But, like, coffee shops, I'm weird about that. Like, if they're privately owned, like, you know, like a family business, I'm
like Concord White Coffee across the street.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm here to support you guys.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If it's a Starbucks or a Dunkin',
Nah.
not really. Unless you do something way above and beyond.
Yeah.
But that's not going to be frequent enough that you need a tip jar there.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so we are having a coffee break. So I'm drinking my cold brew. What are you drinking?
Not coffee, actually.
But you're still having a coffee break.
Yeah.
So what's in the cup right there?
It's a Dr. Pepper.
Is there anything fun added to it? There might be Fireball in mine. I don't know. I don't divulge such things.
No, actually, I'm sober now, so I don't.
Oh,
I don't
really?
Yeah, that's a recent development in my life. So
how recently?
Today's actually 1 month.
Excellent. Congratulations. So you get a
Thanks.
30-day chip?
No, I don't go to the meetings.
I mean,
yeah. You know, I'm not. It's not like I was an alcoholic before.
Yeah.
It's just a lifestyle choice that I made. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're a comic, and I know that comics can be very dark people, and they can battle their demons. So, and sometimes it's good to for comics not to drink. I know with me, like, I've capped it when I perform, like 2 drinks only.
I mean, honestly, for me, it was more about some friends that I have that struggle with that. And so it's kind of more of a solidarity and support thing for them.
Oh, excellent.
And so that they're making this big leap, and for them, those 30 days are extremely hard.
Yeah.
And so for me, I'm like, cool, I'll be by your side with that.
Yeah.
So
that's amazing.
It's less about me and more about, like, just my friends and the, you know.
That's what I love
I'm
that
involved.
because I mean, my dad jokes that I put the fun in functioning, but it's like, I've really toned it down because there have been times where, I've gone on stage and drag and I'm sloppy, hot mess, which is not fun anymore. And plus I'm in my 30s. I can't be doing that, but that's good.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm mostly, even when I wasn't sober, I didn't drink that much, partly because of trying to get a ride and all that.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's always a bitch, especially in Maryland.
But the other part of that was I'm a freaking wimp about hangovers, man.
Oh, my God.
I'm no good the next day. I'm not one of those people that can just go to work afterwards.
Oh, no. I'm in the bed. I'm passed out, wanting to slit my wrist. I'm over this.
Yeah, absolutely. There is not enough ibuprofen in the world.
Oh, yeah. No, you got one hand on the wall, one foot on the floor, trying to make the bed not spin. I'm like, I can't be doing this anymore. Mm-hmm. I get that.
Did it a couple times, and I'm like, cool, I know what it's about now. I'm not doing it anymore.
And so you're in the comedy scene. So how long have you been doing comedy?
I'd say off and on for about a year now.
Excellent. Because we do open mic nights at the State Theater together with Thez. And like you've gone up there, and every time I've seen you, you've like killed.
Well, thanks. Honestly, it started with open mics that weren't for comedy.
Yeah.
And so we had these open mics for bands, and I don't know how much the listeners know about open mic sets here, but
well, I mean, we're
you-
sponsored by the state, so
Oh,
I
cool.
mean, Jared paid some bills for
Oh,
me.
sweet. So in most places, you get to an open mic, and there's like 5 people that sign up, and everybody's just like you're searching sometimes.
Yeah.
And so, you know, when we first started with those, we had the same problem. So I would get up there and just read terrible dad jokes off my phone. And I did that for a little while, and they used to refer to me as the best, worst comedian, which was pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Still is. And then slowly I was like, okay, well, if I'm going to be doing this, you know, every month, I'm going to like put together some more like connected thoughts. And then one day I was just like, you know what? I'll go to the comedy open mics just to try it, you know, life experience. And so now I treat it kind of like karaoke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it's just like, if on a whim you decide to do it, cool. If not, you know.
I just like being there. Like, because I've gotten to the point now, I've done it a few times, and I'm kind of like stand up. I've been really trying to workshop with it. And kind of now that I've transitioned to podcasting, it's like, I'm done doing like the rehearsed sets. Like, they're not, and I bombed horribly. I don't know if you were there for that, like January of 2022. I did it, and I bombed horribly, and my dad was in the audience, which was hilarious. But then I came back when Davey started doing it, so
I must have not been there because I've really truly only seen a couple people totally bomb it.
Yeah.
There's some people you can tell are nervous. There are people that, you know, you can be like, oh, you know, everybody's a critique when you're sitting in the crowd. Oh, you need to do this or that. But I really only seen like 1 or 2 people totally bomb it. So either you didn't do as bad as you thought, or I just wasn't there that night.
no, that's true. Because like with me, you know, I'm the biggest critique to myself, and I'm like, I definitely bombed.
Yeah.
And like my dad talks about it. He was like, oh, that like you could tell you were nervous, and I'm like, I always sound nervous because I talk really fast and I'm really animated. But like I like going up there with Bam and just like riffing, like, you know, and
Yeah, and riffing is a different set of skills.
because I'm an improv, like that's all my theater stuff. So that's why I'm like busting that out. Whereas like when I write a set, and of course I'm Joan Rivers on my iPad up there, and I'm like, ugh.
I think what a lot of people do is they like pre-plan riffs as much as possible.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, what if a heckler shouts this out? Or what are some quick, witty lines that can apply to
that's
everything?
where my drag performing, because I have to be shady. So it's like I can be really quick. And like also I've learned kind of through the comedy scene like in LA that like comics will heckle you. The comics will.
Oh, yeah.
Which I love. That's when you like when I heckle
Comics
somebody.
and your friends.
Yes. And I'm like, that's when I know it's a good like I would heckle Bam, I've heckled Thez. I've heckled a few, like there was one that wasn't the best that I heckled, and like someone else in the audience called me out. I'm like, fuck you. Like,
yeah, it's half the fun.
I know. It's like you're supposed to do that. And plus, it's like building your performance skills because you're going to be heckled. Like, it's not a matter of if, it's when.
Yeah.
So who are your comedy idols?
Oh, so when I first started, I would just rip jokes off of Mitch Hedberg all the time.
Okay.
And, gosh, what's the other guy's name? He's the one that does the drawings on the flip chart all the time.
Carrot Top?
No, not Carrot Top.
Because he doesn't do he does prop comedy.
Yeah. I'm forgetting the guy's name right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then Nate Bargatze.
Yeah.
He's great. He's phenomenal.
Excellent.
Spirit animal right there.
Oh, yeah. No, he's good. So he's coming. Is he coming to Baltimore? I don't know.
Oh, is he really?
He might be.
That'd be fun.
I just saw a lineup of a bunch of comics coming into, I think, Magoobies, is that it, or whatever it's called in Hutt Valley?
Yeah, Magoobies. That's down in Timonium.
Yeah.
Off
Because I know a lot of LA comics, that's where they go.
Yeah, so I've been there before. It's actually a cool little place.
Yeah.
I was there for some, I hate to say local nobodies, but
some of the local nobodies are better than the people they're bringing from LA.
Absolutely.
I will say
they were local nobodies like me,
Okay.
And so that's kind of what I saw that night. But they had pictures on the wall of all the artists and comedians that came through, and there were some big names.
I've seen Tim Dillon there.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. He's like I love Tim Dillon. He's like my fave.
Okay. I can't say as that I'm familiar with Tim Dillon.
Okay, he's always on Joe Rogan's podcast. He's like the bigger like gay dude who like really riffs.
Okay.
From Long Island, talks about being like a drug addict during like working in the mortgage industry.
Huh.
He was there in like last September.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love him though. He's good. So you do Joe Rogan and all that stuff?
I mean, I've watched like clips of his
I
interviews, but
I have thoughts.
I have a hard time sitting for an hour and listening to a podcast. And I have mixed feelings about him. Like
I do too.
So as a person, I think he's probably a really cool person.
Yeah.
And I don't ever see any ill intent in his heart. But I've also heard things, and granted, it's not, rumor mill's only so accurate. But
yeah.
I've heard things about, what he believes that I wouldn't necessarily agree with.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, he reminds me of like that guy that he's just kind of like the guy that wants to be friends with everybody.
Yes.
And so I think sometimes like he's talking about like these alien conspiracy theories and he's talking about it like it's fact.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
and the people he has on are other celebrities, like the dude from Blink-182. And I'm like, okay, let's really look at this right now.
Yeah. And it's like, it's not to say you have to stay in your lane completely, but I think a lot of people, once they become an expert in one subject, think they're an expert in everything.
Yes.
And so you just have to be careful with that. Like, I'm sure some of what he says is true, but then at the same time, other bits of that have been fact-checked, and they're not true at all.
Yeah.
Or there's, like, lots of missing information that would have changed the conversation. And that's not any ill intent, I don't think. I think it's just not knowing.
So let's deep dive into aliens and UFOs, because I'm an alien, or I'm a drag alien. I beamed down from my UFO for this. So let's go. What are your takes? I know you're into it. I can tell.
Aliens or drag aliens?
Well, I mean,
I don't know anything about drag aliens, to be honest.
But you know a lot about aliens, right?
I mean, I know what the media has told us here.
Okay. What do you believe?
Well,
do you believe?
There was a guy who said once that either we're alone in existence or we're not, and each option is as scary as the other.
Yep. And
that really resonated with me. I mean, you think about how vast existence is. I'd be lying to say that we're the only ones. Like, that's very conceited. At the same time, I have a very hard time imagining any of it. And when people say it's real and they've seen it, I have my doubts about that. Yeah.
Like, I've seen ghosts, I've seen stuff like that. I mean, I am a ghost hunter, but I've never seen anything alien or UFOs, and I want to.
And here's the thing, like, I would believe that there's something there, but it's just the sources that say they've seen it generally aren't credible.
Yes.
And then you get this mixed information about, like, the government knows best, and they have all of that, and, you know, of course, then it's there, it's denied, it's true, it's not. So it's kind of hard to follow.
Yeah. Do you have anyone that like sticks out in particular who you've listened to talk about it? Like,
no,
I think Bob Lazar's the dude that was on Joe Rogan's podcast. I
don't particularly go out looking for that content unless it like comes across my feeds.
Okay.
But we've all watched the History Channel documentary,
Ancient Aliens.
Yeah,
that's like my favorite. Oh, do you watch that show? How many?
I used to watch it, and it would crack me.
Oh my god,
up.
It's actually a good way to learn history, because the ancient history they're presenting is actual, like, real.
Oh, yeah.
It's just the theories are kind of like, what the fuck.
And I mean, like, even some of the information presented about those theories is accurate, but then when they start going into it, it's just totally left field.
And then you get the wacko Greek guy with the fucked up hair. I'm like, okie dokie, let's do this.
And I'm not gonna lie, there's someone in my family that I care deeply about that will watch those and say, but it's on the History Channel, it's true.
Oh my God.
And took it as fact. And so it was difficult for a little bit to try and
like, it's one of those things
that.
where, like, it's the end of the day, you need to decompress, you smoke a little weed, and you're like, you're like, okay, let's watch these idiots fantasize about this.
Yeah.
But I learned a lot of ancient history through it.
Yeah.
Which I'm kind of like, yeah, but it's kind of one of those things where it's like the alien side hooked me in because I was like, ooh, aliens, what's this? And I'm like, okay, this is neat. And it shows like really good art.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
And then you mentioned ghosts.
I love ghosts.
And so, again, similar experience. This one I would be willing to believe more. I believe, there are spirits and all that, so logically ghosts would have to exist, right?
Yeah.
That makes sense. I don't, however, I can't say is that I've seen them
Okay.
or experienced that. And it always seems that for the most part, I say always, most of the time, these experiences are from people when it's dark or late at night and they're already scared and on edge about something. And so it's like, well, if ghosts are real and ghosts are ghosts, you're going to see them out in the daylight and normal times. But there's absolutely something to be said for spirits and, just, I don't want to say like paranormal, but another section of reality that we don't fully understand.
Yeah.
And I think all religions touch on that in some way.
Like, I kind of feel like
and
religion is trying to explain all that stuff.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay.
And so that's kind of the thing is you look at all those religions and a lot of them have similar values, just different ways to get there.
Yep.
A lot of them have similar beliefs. They call things by different names, but it's kind of the same
And
idea.
it all looks different, but it's all the same when you boil it down.
Yeah.
So wait, you volunteer at the State Theater and work there. Like,
Yeah.
you've never had any paranormal experiences there? I have. I mean, of course, I'm in there with my ghost box, but like, I will say
there have been people that have been in there that without it, like ghost hunting, that just have had those experiences.
Yeah.
I personally have not.
because I was there like a month ago. I was doing something here at the gallery, and I went down there to get ice, and straight up walked in with I had my spirit box. I could tell they were charged, and I just started talking, and they came through the spirit box, and I've had many weird experiences there. But I also am like a magnet for that shit because I go looking for it.
The only like paranormal experiences that I've had, and this has happened in the rest of my family too, is like for some weird reason lights go out.
Oh,
So when my grandfather passed away, within 3 days, every single light bulb in the house burned out.
Wow.
Like I remember being a kid, and there was this one particular light. If I was in the car with my mom, we would drive under it. The light would go out, and then on our way home, it would come back on.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I was in like my early 20s that I started noticing that happening to me. They've yet to come back on, but I will drive underneath of them, and they just go out of nowhere, which is kind of
And it happens a lot. I know a lot of people that it's actually like it's a type of phenomenon that I think there's a Wikipedia page about. I've looked at it. It is I think it's a real thing because I've seen it happen.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a real thing. I thought we were just weird, man, to be honest.
I'll have to Google it. Do you have your phone out?
I do.
I mean, I have my iPad in front of me, but I think it's called like street light phenomenon or something. But like, because it's you walk past a street light and it goes out. You walk past. I know I've exploded a light bulb by accident when I was mad one time. That was fun.
Street light phenomenon?
It's like street light psychic phenomenon or something. I know I've seen it before.
Street light interference phenomenon.
Yes.
Okay. Sometimes called high voltage syndrome is the claimed ability of individuals to turn street lights or outside building security lights on or off when passing near them. And this makes it sound like it's like controllable or intentional,
But it's not.
It's absolutely
random.
not. Like for me, it was just it happens.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to like connect the dots. I'm like, oh, is this like a good luck or bad luck?
Yeah.
And I can't even pin it down to that. Let alone.
Do you know if
something
does
in
it
my
happen like a
control.
certain time of the month or anything? Because I've also heard like during a full moon it'll happen more.
No, I can't say that I've ever paid attention to that. I mean, obviously, it's generally at night when the lights are on.
Yeah.
It's always street lights. It's not like,
Yeah.
lights in my home from my experience.
Ooh. I love it.
Yeah.
I mean that is a ghostly phenomenon or like a
But
paranormal.
that's
event.
really the only like experience I've had.
But are you like open to it though? Because I know like your day job, you kind of have to be like tune things out. And I notice a lot of people do that with the paranormal. So do you think you might tune it out or
tune out the paranormal?
no, yeah, like because you kind of put those blinders on because it's like
I mean, I approach it with a healthy skepticism.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because I feel like we kind of tend to like paranormal, you can't argue it because you also can't really explain it. You know what I mean? And so I don't want to make it say, a last resort. If science can't answer it, if logic can't answer it, then it has to be that. But it's very easy to go into the mindset of, oh, it's a ghost. Oh, that's spirit. Oh, that's a paranormal something. And then those quickly get turned away, which I think actually hurts that whole mentality and movement. When people try and take it seriously, there's definitely something serious to it, but all those false claims actually hurt it.
Yeah.
And
so do you watch any like paranormal reality shows?
I've watched a few, but
Did you watch Ghost Adventures?
I don't even know
With
what it
douchey
was.
Zach Bagans?
Oh my gosh, this was
That guy.
this was probably
My little darlings
like,
love the paranormal reality television.
I was watching something like mid 2000s on TV, just whatever was
Oh
on
God,
at
it
the
probably was
time.
old school Ghost Hunters.
It might have been.
Or was it, there was one on ABC Family, like this was in the early aughts, called Scariest Places on Earth, with the woman, she was in, Linda Blair was in it, and then the narrator had like a voice that she's like, the hauntings were this, and she had that type of voice.
Yeah, I may have seen that.
And it was like these douchebag college kids that they're like sending into like Waverly Hills Sanatorium, and they're screaming at like,
But like you said, I mean, again, with History Channel, you just watch it, veg out, and
That's very
don't
true.
really pay
It's
attention.
very
That's how I
true.
was with this stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is some ghost hunting nonsense, and then just went along my way, and I never really thought about it until I got older, and people were like, oh yeah, this is like a serious thing that people question, and I'm like, oh,
you're like, yeah,
okay,
I know. I just like it because it's fun to talk shit about.
yeah.
So like going back to the comedy night. So do you do any other open mic nights in the area or?
No, really, I don't. Like I said, to me, it's just kind of like karaoke. You get up there just for the fun of it, kind of on a whim. And so to like go around to different open mics to do it feels very intentional. Like I almost really don't even see myself as a comic.
It's like that rat race of the hustle, and I'm like,
yeah,
like I
I've
like
got
that
enough
one 'cause
hustles
it's-
going on.
Yeah, that's how I am.
I don't need another one. Like
And,
to
like-
me, it's just fun.
Yeah, that's how I
that's
am.
all
Like
it
the
is.
open mic night, it's like I'm mentoring a few of the comics that go up there. It's like if I need to go up there, I will. Like if no one signs up, yeah, I'll go up there. But like for the most part, like last week, it was like I didn't have to, and it was fun, and I got to I like hanging out with other comics, and I like
Yeah, last week I brought some friends along.
You brought some friends. I mean, you filled half the fucking theater.
Okay, I filled half. I brought 12 people though, so that tells you
No,
about
that's
our
very true.
attendance.
Yes, that's
it's not
true.
like it was Royal Farms Arena
I
just filled way up.
loved it because they were like punk bike people that like they look scary, but I'm like all these people are some of the nicest people you'll ever meet.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And that's like the beauty of the state. Because then also we had like that comic who had the wheelchair stuff that brought a bunch of people, and then it was just it was a lot last week.
Dude, the state, I'll tell you what, we've had some crazy stuff there.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had gong meditation, we've had belly dancers, we've had the Foo Fighters cover band where the lead singer was wheelchair bound.
Oh God.
We had, like you name it. It's happened.
It's
there.
like a nice venue though, and I know like the Havre Grace foo-foo-y people are always like it's grungy, but I'm like that's the way it's supposed to be. Like it's a nice
we're grunge like our music.
Yes, and I'm like we're cool, like we're the cool kids. Because I love going in there, and Katie and Jared are like the best people ever, and like Lexi, and, like everyone in there, and like
Yeah, it's a fun time. Man.
yeah.
Yeah, I like volunteering there because, really it's where I was going to be anyway for the weekend, so might as well just be working it.
Oh, yeah, and you're like, and plus we get to, drink and like just goof off and
yeah, absolutely.
yeah, I love it. Ooh, what other? So do you you do the comedy nights? Do you do any other nights or is it?
I love any of the times they have live music, man.
Yeah.
I am a huge, huge music fan, and so any of the live shows, I try and be there for that. I've pretty much done like anything that we've done there. I've at least been to it once or twice.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I like trying new things. And
Have you been to the drag show yet?
I have been to a couple of the drag shows.
How'd you feel about it? It's fun.
It's not for me.
Yeah.
It's not for me. I can see how people would enjoy it, but I feel like once you've seen one, you've seen all of it to me. Like,
and that drag is very like RuPaul Drag Race drag, and it's
Yeah.
very like the surface level drag. Whereas like I feel like if I see some of the underground shows, some of the punker drag shows I'm in, like that I used to be in, where I'm like we're stapling money to our legs, putting hooks in our eyes. I think you would click with that.
I don't know, to be honest.
What? I thought you liked the freak show stuff.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know. Like, my whole thought on the drag stuff, it's different. I
Yeah.
don't know if that's the
Do you go to
entertainment
wrestling?
for me. Yeah, I've seen
Okay.
some of the wrestling, and I realize that those are pretty much just straight guys in drag.
Yes, yes.
But,
100%, 100%.
yeah.
Because it's the campiness, the character. I'm like, this is
Honestly, I wasn't really a wrestling fan either, to be honest. Like, I mean, I'll go to the shows. They're fun.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them are really cool guys. The drag
Well, they
show-
all have to like shit in the theater before the show, so it's always like you go upstairs and you're like, why does it smell bad?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you all emptied your bowels and you all are on protein, and it's disgusting.
even the chicks.
Oh yeah, that too. Oh my god, because they're trying to get me to go. Like to go see it. And I'm kind of like wrestling. I'm like,
I mean, it's fun in the sense of dumb entertainment in
Yeah.
my mind.
And they use the balcony as the dressing room, so like I can't sit up there like the rock star, I am, and like be like antisocial.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, really, you don't need to. Like, they're a good group of guys and girls. I mean, they're just all really kind and there to enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm sure. Do they get paid enough? Pay a lot of money, or
Honestly, I talked to one of them about it. I think he said they get like a $20 sort of like assistance or something
Oh,
for showing
God.
up to cover gas. But until they make it to like a higher league, I think they're all just kind of like they'll travel on their own. Some of them from, as far as like Florida up to
Yeah.
here and all, hours to come to these shows. And they also pay to train.
yeah,
And so for the most part, this is not like a career for them. It's just kind of a working up till it could be a career.
yeah. It's kind of like us comics or like us drag queens. It's like, ooh, that's,
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't want it to sound like I'm knocking drag. Like, I think it's good for the people that love it. Like, absolutely, it's one of those, for me, I saw it as, okay, we're coming out. There's music, you dance, you do your little, twerk, whatever it is.
death drop.
Yeah, and like you go out there and collect some money, and it's cool and it's fun, and then they stop and joke around, and there's a little bit of crude humor, and that's all in good fun.
Oh, there.
and then you move along to the next person, and that's cool. But like that same format kind of gets old to me, and
yeah, like I 100% agree with you, because like I've been to so many drag shows, and half the time I'm like, who is this queen? I'm like, oh, it's a different queen. Oh, why are we doing the same thing?
yeah, and it feels like they're all trying to have that same attitude. Like,
Yeah.
they're all trying to be, oh, I'm that bad bitch. And it's like, oh, well,
I'm going to be a Lady Gaga queen, or I'm going to
Statistically-
be this queen.
statistically, not all of you can be that.
Yes, very true.
And just, I don't know. It's not for me. I also, like, it was an interesting experience once to see it. So you
Well, that's what I always say. Like, drag's not
like-
for everybody, but I always say you at least have to go to a show to see if you don't like it.
Absolutely. Like, I tried eel once. I absolutely hate
I hear
eel.
that. I tried
I
fried
wouldn't
rat.
want I wouldn't want to try it again, but
Yeah.
I've at least tried it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I'm at with drag. Like, if you like it, that's cool, but it's just not my sort of entertainment. The only one that like really gets me is like when, and I don't think this is your average drag show, but there are some extremes with like exposure and nudity
Yes.
that are most definitely not appropriate for all audiences. And I think that's where the news and this is the weird part, because the news likes to speak in generalities
Oh,
and
I know, yeah.
absolutes. And I think children shouldn't be at those shows where it's absolutely explicit. But honestly, once you're 18, you're an adult. Do what you do. That's your choice.
Yeah, like my drag persona, my drag show, my performing is adult only. I don't want kids there.
Yeah.
But like, but there are other queens I know that do more of like a family friendly style. kind of like if you go to Disney World and see Cinderella, I mean, practically that's a woman in drag. So
yeah. At the same time, I also don't think like it's the same mentality of you wouldn't bring a kid to a strip club.
Exactly.
You wouldn't bring a kid to a stand-up show where they're cussing every other word.
Oh, yeah.
Or it's, inappropriate content.
Yeah.
And that really comes down to individual parenting.
Yeah.
And so to me, that's less on the performer and more on the parents. But of course, there's some overlap there too.
Yeah. Because I don't want a fucking kid at my show. I mean, even with comedy, I mean, think about when me and Bam went up there, I was talking about how straight guys need to clean their ass more. Like, no kid needs to hear that. Like,
no, absolutely not.
We were laughing and having fun, but I'm like, that's not it. And like when kids get freaked out when, and I look in drag, I look scary. So it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, like, especially when you're worried about a book called Everybody Poops.
Yeah,
like,
that's very true.
If that is their understanding, they do not need to go beyond that into other things.
I find a lot of times the media is like sexualizing drag when it doesn't need to be sexualized. Like they're the ones saying like, oh, they're men dressed as women. It's like, that's not the point. They're playing a character, but like the kid's not going to know that the kid's just seeing like a performance.
Yeah. That's kind of a tricky one,
Yeah.
It depends on the age of the kid and how aware.
I mean, that's true. I mean, 40 in stages. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, like if they're 3 years old, they're probably just seeing a performance. If they're 12, they're probably trying to understand what's going on. And it depends on how their family has exposed them to that sort of information before. But ultimately, I really just don't think it's a place for kids.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean, when I see kids at shows, I'm like, or like, I'll get asked to do like a family-friendly like pride thing, and I'm kind of like, like, can I say cunt? Can I say shit? Like, what do you want me to do? Like, I'm not Ellen. I'm not like, I'm like, there's other queens that do that shit. I'm not one of them.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, it's all personal discretion, but I know where I personally stand on that.
Yeah.
one.
I appreciate this, and I love conversations like this because I feel like there's such this hyper politicization of drag right now, and it's like from people who have never been to a drag show, when it's like, go to a drag show, experience it, and then make an opinion. Whereas a lot of times people are making opinions kind of being like showed up by the media and whatnot, and this like weird culture war, and it's kind of like
this. I think everything is polarized right now.
Yeah,
and like I've seen stuff about drag shows where there are people dancing with quite literally no clothes on.
Oh yeah, I've been to those shows,
and children are around, and I'm like, that is not okay.
Yeah, I'm like that. You wouldn't take your kid to a strip club.
Yeah, but at the State Theater, like everyone's fully clothed. I'm not saying it's the most appropriate situation, but it's very, very different than what the media shows.
The only adult thing is the crude humor. Like, that's about it. Other than that,
humor, some of the gestures.
Yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, because definitely Bambi's up there, like sucking the microphone like a dick.
Yeah, and that's fine when you're older.
Yeah,
if you enjoy it and it's funny. But as a kid. Even if it was a straight version of everything, taking
well, I mean, think about
drag
the wrestling,
aside, but,
like,
I wouldn't I would take a kid to a wrestling show, but not like we have CZW and then there's another one, a little more family friendly one.
Yeah,
I might take them to the family friendly one. I wouldn't take them to one where they're going to be swinging barbed wire at each other and bleeding.
Oh,
and,
they do that?
Not here in Maryland. You're not allowed blood matches in Maryland, but. Some of the like more violent ones, I wouldn't want a kid there. Or,
oh my God. So that means
some of the like CZW has, language, adult language. I wouldn't want
because
a kid
the wrestlers are
that.
playing a character, right?
Right.
Okay.
Absolutely. But then there's like the more family friendly version, And
how is wrestling like that? That would be interesting to me to see because I'm like, how are they making this? Like, are they still punching each other?
From what I understand, it's a bit of a mix. Like some of it's pre-planned, some of it's not. Obviously, if they're just gonna like full on just deck somebody in the head, like those are big dudes. Like they wouldn't be still standing if that was the case.
And
So-
there's medics there. Like I know Jared said that
There
the whole
are.
left side are like the EMTs and the fire company people, which I'm like,
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah, so definitely there is some, like, from what I understand, some physical contact. Like when you get slammed on that mat, it is not a soft. Like
Yeah.
it's gonna
you're
hurt.
yeah.
I've seen them like slap each other and leave like huge welts on their chests.
Oh.
That's real.
I love that shit.
But I
Like,
mean, if a big guy kicks somebody in the face, there's really that person's going to be out. So some of
Yeah.
that has to be staged a bit, I'd imagine, just for their
like
own
do
safety.
they have like any type of like fake blood or like blood capsules or anything like that?
I haven't seen it here.
Okay.
And again, I think that just goes back to Maryland and their laws about
Damn Maryland.
Because if you're showing blood, it's
Mm-hmm.
violent and all that. And
Like I know that when I do my freak show stuff, like last week when we had that little party and I was trying to teach Trish how to staple money to your leg, and Jared's like, "No, we're not doing this."
trying to teach Trish what now?
To staple money, like I used to take like a stapler and like actually like take my tips and staple them to my thigh.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you see the scar on my face? You know how I got that?
Oh man.
I used to I can know how to put hooks in my eyes, and one of them snapped right there, and that skin's very sensitive. Yeah, that's why I'm like, people don't realize, like, I'm pretty, like, when it comes to, like, the punk drag scene I used to be in, like, I go hardcore.
Okay, have you heard of Paranormal Circus?
Oh, I haven't.
Oh yeah. So it's actually coming back in town in like a month or so. I
Oh,
think.
is it the Vampire Circus?
No, it's called Paranormal
Oh, my
Circus.
God.
And so they have like
Oh, my God.
it's like a freak show mixed with a circus
it. I
mixed
love
with
it.
like
I love
haunted
it.
everything. So you go through like a haunted graveyard and like house to get to the main auditorium.
like
and
my
then it's like
house.
your
Oh.
traditional circus, trapeze and everything else, but they're dressed up like these ghouls and,
We got to Google
mean,
them. We got to, oh, my God.
we gotta Google them. Actually, I gotta.
Oh, are they coming to the Star Center?
No,
Because I thought something with the Star Center did something.
I'm not sure what the Star Center does.
I mean, I don't either. I mean,
I'm State Theater for life. I don't
exactly,
really
me
pay
too,
attention
because
to
it's
anything
like
else.
all the rest of them, they don't give us respect.
I
you know.
don't even get into all of that.
Like,
I
we
just-
give them respect, but at the same time, it's like, we're State Theater people.
I only have so many brain cells to function and
Yes.
so many things I can worry about. And I've
And I'm
decided
a-
on the State Theater, and I
Yep.
can't split up my attention, or I just kind of become half-hearted at all of it, and that's no good to anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a paranormal, anything paranormal like that sounds amazing.
Yeah, so and honestly, like, I am not a like scary movie, or I'd never done like a haunted house thing
Really?
before.
You've never seen a scary movie?
I mean, I've seen scary movies. I don't like them.
What's your favorite?
Let's see here. I've only seen a couple. It was, I think, The Nun,
Okay. Ed and Lorraine Warren.
and then
Those
there
are
was-
ghost hunting OG people.
There was one. It was
Hellraiser.
no. It was about some family during like World War II, and they had to run out into a house in the middle of nowhere and pull all the, the blackout shades and everything.
Oh, gosh.
I can't remember.
Ooh, that sounds scary. Because, I mean, we're coming into spooky season, so it's like, I know Hellraiser, both the original and the remake are my fave. You got to watch Hellraiser.
I hate when people are like, you got to see this. Like, I just am not a movie person for the most
That's
part.
very true.
And like,
Because I asked you what movies you're like, and Lexi straight up was like, he doesn't watch movies. And I'm like,
and I was like, I've seen the Barbie movie, and then
You've seen the Barbie movie? I haven't even seen the
did
Barbie
see
movie.
that. I did see that.
how'd you feel about it?
It was not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
I was expecting, a bunch of like overly political and
I'm nervous
commentary
about
and this
that.
and that. It's not. I'm not to say that it's not there, but it's
Mm.
not as much as I thought it would be.
Is it artistically done and kind of thrown in there?
It's. You can see when they're intentionally doing it.
Okay, because that's the thing. I'm like, I don't want political Barbie. I want I
There's-
want Barbie, the fucking doll, being dumb, and Ken being like a freaking, blonde-haired
regular
idiot.
Chad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Ken is your typical Chad about things, just kind of doy and like they talk about Barbie being all these different things. So there is the, the dumb Barbie, but there's also the Nobel Peace Prize Barbie and the
President
Dr.
Barbie.
Barbie and President Barbie. Yeah, so I mean, they show all sides of it, and there's some humor and like how Barbie moves and how slow the car drives. And
Oh,
just
God.
some silly stuff. But at the end of the day, I think like a kid can watch it. They're not going to be thrown into any like. It's not overly political to a point where a kid couldn't enjoy it or something came up. And ultimately, like it's just a fun. It's Barbie, you know.
Yeah,
what I
that's
mean?
the thing. Like, I
just
want fun, dumb Barbie. Like,
Yeah,
just like a movie I can go and watch it. Like, I'm tired of
plain and simple
politicization of
Every
everything.
movie.
It's like, can we just have a movie that's be made just for the fun of it? Like, have you seen Showgirls?
No,
Oh,
I haven't. Oh, here's some pictures of that.
oh, is
Paranormal
this the Paranormal Circus? Let's see. Oh, wow, black light.
It's wild.
Ooh, vampire. Ooh, definitely have to. Oh, we got to go to that. I wonder if
10 out of 10, I would go again. Tickets are only like
where does it?
they had it in Annapolis.
Oh, okay.
Last year. I think this year it's like somewhere in Lancaster. It's not terribly
Ooh.
far, and the tickets were super
We
cheap.
should see if Jared would book him at the state.
I don't know if we have the space at the state.
Okay.
Plus, part of their deal is they have this like big circus tent that they set up.
Okay.
And you know what I mean? So it's kind of like they have their own deal already going
Yeah.
on. It might be
Damn.
something you could convince Grace to do, like the town, to set them up.
Well,
I
mean, we could, but at the
Maybe,
same time, like,
maybe.
I can't deal with the politicization. Like, I'm just, or the political side. Like,
I do know.
yeah. Ooh.
Yeah,
Oh, good. You're at
sorry.
my studio table.
Yeah, I know.
We went on a field trip because we're just at my art studio, Gallery 220. It's where I'm having my coffee break.
Yeah, I'm like having this podcast and I'm like looking at art on one side and storage on another, and yeah.
And you got a blonde wig in front of you.
Is
Or
that-
no, it's
that's
blue. So
That's blue.
in order to do blue, you got to bleach your hair out. So I'm only a blonde, but I do variations on blonde.
Of course, who doesn't know that?
Yeah,
Me, I didn't know that.
that's true. Well, you're a straight guy, so. So how's dating in Havre de Grace? Or wait, so I should say in the Hartford Cecil County area.
The dating pool is a bit of a cesspool, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's a mess.
Are you on any apps or anything or?
So I have Tinder and Hinge.
Okay.
Hinge, people are a little bit more intentional about what they're doing. And so that's like you get some better quality matches there. Tinder is an absolute freak show.
Not the good freak show.
No, unfortunately not. Yeah, but dating as a whole is just kind of a mess, to be honest.
Well, that's that's what you do stand up about.
Yeah, that was part of my set that was about that, yeah.
Ooh.
And I won't delve into it too
Yeah,
much.
no,
but
yeah.
that was definitely some of the Tinder tragedies.
You gotta come to the open mic night at the state to see that little tidbit.
Yeah,
It's good though, trust me. There's some shit shows in this area.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like I can't even deal with any like dating like that. I can only imagine what straight dating is like.
And well, the problem is like there's all this there's dating on the apps, and so in person it's like you feel confrontational just to introduce yourself to somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, "Oh, hi, I'm Big Nick." And they're like, "I'm here with my friends. I don't want to be bothered. You're such a and I'm like, "Oh my gosh." And like you just don't want to be attacked or me too'd or canceled or whatever the term is for it now.
I'm sure those psycho bitches are like, oh, he's gonna look at me weird. Me too. You're triggering my trauma. Like
exactly.
Go fuck
And so
yourself.
you don't want to kind of interact with that, but then you go online version and you are quite literally a nobody online.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like somebody better pops up, cool, your plans are canceled.
Yeah.
So I'm like actually talking to a chick right now who's canceled twice
Oh.
and is like, I don't know, maybe. I'm like,
Now, do you like hook up with people on there, or is it just dating?
I'm not going to say that I haven't, but that's not really what I want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because I feel like that's the problem with like gay dating and like it's all hookup stuff, and it's like I want to date.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at. Is like I
Yeah.
want to date, and people are like, you can list your intentions, and I'm like, that's cool, but not everybody's truthful about their intentions.
Yes.
A lot of people will say they want to date because there's more people looking for that, and then just try and hook up later, or their mood
What is
fluctuates.
the
And
worst date you've ever been on?
I can only pick one.
Oh, you only got one?
I said, can I only pick one?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you've had multiple.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
And I'm not here to like shame anybody, but when the
These
girl,
are anonymous.
but when the girl is bragging that her body count is higher than her age, and she's like super proud of it, that's a little messed up. That one ended with a high five, and then I washed my hands quite a bit.
Ooh.
I had one girl introduce herself to me. We didn't even go on a date. She was like, "Hey, big boy, how about you hide your glasses in my fat rolls and see if you can find them?"
Oh, my God. I she said like right. Oh, my God.
Oh yeah, that was just like her first message to me. I've had one who had her ex who lived in a camper in her grandmother's backyard and was banging the daughter of the girl he broke up with her for.
Oh, my God.
But she was too focused on the restraining order on her dad.
Was that a Cecil County person?
No, Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay. I was like, that sounds some Cecil
We're going to
County
blame
shit.
that on Pennsylvania.
Ooh. Well, that's the thing on This Is Have to Grace. They love to bitch about Pennsylvania people.
Honestly,
Are you on
though,
that Facebook group?
I am.
It's a shit show.
It is. It's fun to watch
It is.
things.
I mean, because these people on there are just such dumb.
If you don't take life seriously, it's quite fun.
Yeah.
But,
I'm like,
you know.
wow, these people really are bitches about that.
I'm trying to find the one. I screenshotted it because I didn't think anybody would believe me if I didn't.
Or is it like the picture of her dog?
What, on dating apps?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. All of them. It's about their dog. It's about The Office. It's about
Oh, yeah. Ooh.
something. Yeah, here's this
Well,
one.
people watch The Office and assume it's a personality. Ooh. I wonder if,
You can go ahead and read it if you want.
okay, this person. I have diabetes, so fuck all that sweet shit. I euthanize a baby faster than Usain Bolt.
The
the runner. Oh, my God.
the world track star.
Banned from all Delaware public libraries, Macy's, and Newcastle, Newark, Middletown, Walmart. Looking for a man that can give me a face tat, mild coke addiction, and I have an arrest warrant. Well,
Yeah.
man, that sounds like a keeper.
And then people are like, "Why are you single?" That's why.
and
at least
she just fucking put that on her like
honestly,
Tinder.
I was almost okay with it. Like I swiped right. At least she put it out there.
Yeah, that's very
There's
true.
some that are like exactly like that,
Hey,
but
we're
they
not
try
gonna-
and hide it.
We can't stop at the.
I was just hoping at some point that became satire. You know what I mean?
Oh, I think we're getting to that point where like I think in like 10 years when I look back at like social media this time, be like, what were we thinking? Because that's happening now with reality television. It's like reality television from like the early aughts up until about 2010. It's called the Wild West of it because it was like we look back and we're like, why were we doing that? I feel like we're going to do that with social media and be like,
Well,
what was happening?
There is a little bit of reasoning behind some of the reality shows that
Yeah.
were going on. One, I mean, it was a time where we were experimenting with what in the world are people going to watch and
it's
be
a social
interested in.
experiment.
It was a social experiment. The other part of that is I believe there was a writer's strike during that time as well.
Oh, yeah, that's why Survivor got
And
off because
so-
it's cheap to produce without writing.
Exactly. So you don't really need a writer for
Yeah.
a reality show or very little writing. And so that's why there was such a rise in all of those types of shows. And it worked, to be honest.
So
There were
what
a lot of
reality
them.
shows did you watch?
I see during that time I was still kind of young. But like X Factor, I think was the one. where they're, like,
that's-
eating bugs. And,
No, Fear Factor.
Fear Factor.
That's where
is
you
that-
got Joe Rogan from.
Oh, really?
We can thank that from Joe Rogan.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, I remember it was like late
Back when he had
elementary,
hair.
early middle school, something like that. You come home and the guy's like eating bugs and in a tank of snakes, and
Oh yeah, and then he's like
doing all
having to
this
like
ridiculous
careen off like a
stuff.
moving tractor trailer.
yeah. And then there were some there. I don't know what they were called, but like the older versions of American Ninja Warrior.
Oh god,
where they were just like make it through this obstacle course,
Yeah.
and that was super exciting.
Did you watch like Real World or anything?
No.
MTV.
No, there was one that came out during COVID, and it was like Ultimate Tag.
Oh god.
Yeah,
Oh
I watched a couple episodes of that because during COVID we were all really bored. But
yeah.
Yeah, grown men playing tag became
That must be oof.
It was interesting.
And it brings out this like weird side to them, and you're like, wait a minute, where was this all the time?
Yeah, it's one of those things where when you see him in person, you probably couldn't take him seriously anymore. Yeah.
Ooh, so you watch The Office.
I do watch The
I got
Office.
thoughts about it. So are you one of those people that make it your personality, though?
Oh, gosh, no.
Because I've known you for a few months, and I didn't know, like, I knew you watched The Office because you said it, but I didn't know, like...
Yeah, I mean, like, I appreciate a meme here and there,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to, like, make my whole life based around it.
So what's your favorite Office episode?
Oh,
I'll tell you mine. I love
what's yours?
Mine's the fire alarm one, where Dwight has the fire drill. Because that shit... And the one where Meredith got hit by the car.
Yeah. Yeah, because they were running in the...
Yeah.
Is that the one where they were running with the traffic
Oh, yeah.
speed camera? Is that the same episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
There's a
pretty
lot
good.
of The Office.
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate it because that's the style of acting I do, but at the same time, I'm like...
Honestly, I really... Sorry, not to cut you off. The one I really like was the one where Dwight finds a joint in the parking lot.
Oh, my God, yes.
And he's going in there and, like, interrogating everybody.
And then freaking Creed's like, oh, that's Northern Lights. It's an indica. And
Yeah.
he's like, what? Because he didn't know. And I'm like...
he's like, Northern Light indica cannabis. He's like... No, it's just weed. And so he didn't even know what he was working with. And then Jim goes in there and he's like, I came in here, you told me that I would be conducting the interview. How much weed did you smoke? And he's like, what are you talking about? He said it's a memory loss weed. So how would you remember if you smoked it?
Oh, my God.
And it's
yes.
like,
yes.
He like totally flipped the tables on that one. And I love that.
Because that show is lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
Did you watch any of the other ones like Parks and Rec? Like, I only really got into The Office.
I did watch Parks and Rec. That one was pretty fun too, to be honest. It was, it was a little more... I hate to say dumb, but it was like a little more just kind of that dumb, mindless entertainment humor.
Yeah, it wasn't...
Which is great, because when I watch TV, I don't want to think, which is why I don't really watch movies, as we talked about. But
what is your favorite movie?
I think I, Robot by Will Smith was really good. I had that one on DVD. Major Payne was great.
Someone quoted Major Payne Monday to me. And I was
Zenobia,
like,
I'm getting like all this glitter all over me.
Oh yeah, you're in my.
my goodness.
You're in my art studio.
I should have known better. Ugh. Anyway,
Let's say the state wasn't open today,
yeah.
where I normally record.
I'm gonna like tighten this mic up here real quick.
Do it because it's like this is
been
my
driving me
travel
crazy.
kit. This is my travel kit.
I'm like, you're gonna get all this kind of noise, and
yeah.
there we
But
go.
I mean, it's like this is my travel kit, so I'm kind of like it does the job, but it's not like like we're in an art studio.
Yeah, it's like a Tinder date. It gets the job done, but it's not something you're proud of.
That's true. That's true. Oh man, what? So like, do you know who Anna Nicole Smith is? I got a list for you.
I've heard the name.
Google her.
Anna.
Who's your favorite
Nicole
Playboy bunny? Were you
don't-
big into Playboy?
No, I mean, I am older than the age of magazines, so
Okay.
like that wasn't really a.
Wait, are
thing
you
for
older
me.
than me?
I'm 27.
Shit, I'm older than you.
Yeah.
Fuck. Well,
Yeah.
I'm 24. I don't know what I'm saying.
Wait,
30.
you're 24?
Zenobia's 24.
Okay. Gotcha.
But still, I'm like, shit. I didn't. Okay. I kept thinking you were older.
Yeah,
Not a bad
no.
thing. You have the like.
Demeanor.
Yeah.
It's the demeanor. Yeah.
So and you're a bike person too.
Yeah.
What type of bike do you have?
Harley Davidson.
Did you drive it today?
I did this morning. I didn't bring it here because it
Yeah.
was supposed to rain.
Oh, it is supposed to rain?
It's supposed to, and I'm not one of those people. Like, I have nothing to prove. I'm not going to,
Yeah.
if you're stuck in the rain, that's one thing, but I'm not going to go set out to be in it.
Because you
know?
brought in a bunch of biker people. Because I was happy because they all have like the cutoff jean jackets. And I'm like,
Yeah.
my people.
Yeah, they're a
because
good
people
group
like
of
that,
dudes.
they look scary. They're not. They're the biggest teddy bears in the world. Don't fuck with them. But they're big softies.
Yeah, absolutely. They're a good group of dudes.
Yeah.
And they were the ones that I quit drinking for.
Yeah.
So,
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
sorry. Anna Nicole Smith.
Google
right?
Anna Nicole Smith. Yeah, I got some stuff for you
Anna
to...
Nicole Smith.
Because that's what I went through and I was like, okay, who's some good pop culture figures that would be like... You would know who she is.
I mean, the face looks kind of familiar. But
She has a Netflix documentary that's actually like really good.
oh man, you can't say documentary and really good in the same sentence.
I love documentaries.
and that's why you're on that side of the podcast table.
That's very true. Very true. Well, documentaries are like reality shows, but in movie form. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I mean,
How do you feel about Anna Nicole Smith? So do you like, when it comes to girls, what's your ideal chick?
Brett Cooper.
Okay. You said Ariana Grande too.
Yeah, Ariana Grande as far as like celebrity, but
Yeah.
if you're willing to go like the full broad spectrum of, political and, not just actresses and
How do you feel about Lady
singers.
Gaga? Do you think she's hot?
Not particularly. I mean, I could see a picture and be wrong about that, but
Okay.
let
What
me
about
let me
Madonna?
Google it.
What about Madonna?
Absolutely not.
Would you like 80s Madonna or like Madonna now?
Neither.
Neither.
Yeah.
You don't like the gap
Yeah, I'm
tooth?
double checking Lady Gaga, but that's still a no.
Like, there's some moments where I'm like, Gaga, she's a drag queen though. I mean, there's there's Stephanie Germanotta, and then there's Lady Gaga's her stage name.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not into like girls that dress drag like or really like bold like that.
So you don't like a lot of makeup. You like
I want them to look like they just rolled out of Starbucks,
do you like a basic bitch?
Abso-freaking-lutely.
Ooh.
Yeah. If I can't pick her out from the rest of her sorority, it's perfect.
So you want Ugg boots, leggings, a pumpkin
Pumpkin
spice
chai.
latte, pumpkin
Yes.
chai,
Yes.
North Face fleece, hair back up, ponytail with a band.
Yeah.
Being like,
yeah.
oh my God, she pissed me off last night.
Yeah, I could listen to that all day long.
Yeah.
Like that.
I mean, is
whole-
the sex good though?
I have no clue. I haven't been that lucky.
Okay.
But everybody like cracks on like that vocal fry that like, oh my God, so like, that doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
Everybody's got their own thing.
that's very true.
You know what I mean?
That's very true.
And I can't explain it.
Did you date a lot in like college? Because you're a tiger too, right?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Welcome. Join we all are. Yay.
Yeah, no, I dated some in college. Nothing like super serious though.
Yeah. Now, were you actually on like the Towson campus, or were you
No,
like you
I
were
was-
at HCC?
Yeah, I was at
Okay.
their campus by HCC.
Okay. Because because I was on the campus in there in Towson, and it was like I got some stories. I don't know. I want to do a Patreon with like some of my Towson friends, like, and make it Patreon only, like, and just riff about the trauma and the bullshit we've had to go through there.
I mean, I only went to the main campus a couple times.
Yeah.
And those were for parties.
Yeah.
So
Because like there's like at the campus there's the Valley of Knowledge, we call it, and then there's the art building up on the hill next to Shepherd Pratt. And there's really no difference between the Shepherd Pratt and the art building, I will say.
what, you guys are
Well, it was just the art building. I don't know how to describe it. You walk in and there's like, you got the annoying band people like warming up. You got the singers. It's like, it's very eclectic. Like, you had me walking around in drag, running late to a scene, flipping out. You got the actors overacting, being the narcissistic assholes they are.
So I don't know, and don't take this the wrong way because I know you're a theater person.
I'm not though. I think we saw that last week. I don't click with a lot of theater people because I do a different type of theater.
But there is like this mentality, like there are some people they could be 50 years old.
Mm-hmm.
You will meet them and you're like, oh, that's the theater kid from high school that just never grew up.
Yep.
And I'm like, you just know it,
Yeah.
And
Watching.
that's not to say it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Some of them are great people, but like there's definitely a personality that's there.
Yeah, the annoying theater kid. I can't handle it. Like I prefer. Like people are so shocked. I prefer drag queens and straight guys. Which I'm like, it's just shocking.
Yeah. Well, not really. I mean,
People think I should be friends with like theater queens and like really gay people, and I'm like,
here's the thing: you're a dude. You hang out with dudes that you have things in common
Yes.
with, and
Yes.
if that's theater people, cool. If it's not, cool.
like I have more fun with the comics out of anyone else at the state. Like, I mean, I don't get me wrong, I love the drag queens, and I'm cool with everyone there. But it's like the comics. It's like when we're backstage in the green room bitching. That's my favorite.
Yeah, there are some good times.
Yeah, because we all can read each other, be crazy. All right, so final thoughts. Where can we all find you?
Where can we all...
Do you have social media? Are you a private person?
I am a pretty private person just because of my job.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And so I don't have Twitter. I don't have Snapchat. I don't have Instagram.
Oh, my God. What are you doing?
I have Facebook.
How do you live?
I do have a Facebook.
But it's private.
It's private. I've never posted anything, and it's
so
not
you're
my
a
real
troll
name.
account.
It's not my real name, and my face is not in the picture. It's really just so I can buy stuff off a marketplace.
Okay.
So, yeah.
What do you buy off Marketplace? Do you have any good Marketplace stories?
No, my marketplace stories are tame compared to the Tinder stories.
Damn.
I mean, like, I bought a computer monitor a couple weeks ago. I've had somebody try and trade me a pair of shoes for a bicycle. That was an interesting one.
Did you go to people's houses and it's like a shithole?
I mean, I don't go into their homes.
Yeah. I wouldn't.
That's like stranger danger.
Yeah.
You know, safety lesson number 1 is you don't go into someone's home.
Okay.
But
final thought though, do you have because you're in Cecil County.
Yep.
Do you have an Elkton or Northeast Walmart story? I know someone that was popped hooking in the Northeast Walmart parking lot with the truckers. Yeah.
Wow. No, nothing quite like
but
that.
like I'm saying, if you want to see some
like if you're looking for like people at Walmart, I'd be surprised if most of them didn't come from there. I did have an experience at the Northeast Walmart once, and this is pre-COVID, back when they were truly 24 hours.
Yeah. Which I'm pissed that they're not. I love going to Walmart at like 2 a.m.
Oh, I know. Yeah. And so I don't even remember what I was doing, but for some reason I was at Walmart around 2 a.m. And, you know, there's like this mother and her daughter is about my age. And then there were like 2 bigger dudes, right? And so I'm walking out of Walmart in the parking lot, and there's music playing, and the daughter, again, about my age, was just like dancing, chilling with the music. And I'm sitting here looking at these big guys, and I'm like, I'm a big dude, but the fact that I'm referring to them as big, like they were big. And they kept eyeing them up and eyeing me up, and I'm like, oh, this don't feel right, you know? And so she was dancing the music, and I kind of jokingly like danced around. And this guy like looked at his friend, and he's like, man, the weird shit you see at Walmart.
Oh my God, they were calling you the weirdo.
Yeah, they were calling me the weirdo. I'm like, man, you are
Yeah. I remember I was in the Northeast Walmart one time, and it was like 11:30 on like a Wednesday night. And there was a family there. It was like a 5-year-old, an 8-year-old. Of course, they looked like they were feral as fuck. And the mom and I guess some other older woman straight up was in the music section and said to the kid, I got to find this or daddy's going to rip me a new asshole, to like the 8-year-old. And I'm like, who the fuck talks like that to their kid? Like,
yeah, for real.
I'm like, then you got to realize like, oh, maybe the kids are like, I don't know.
Yeah, but chances are if they're saying that, they've heard worse.
Exactly. And then I'm like, if you're worried that he's going to rip you and you out, then I'm like, is he beating you? Did he have a stay in the Cecil County Hilton?
Oh, man. My heart breaks for Cecil County.
I do too.
Like there are really great people there, and there's just a lot of pain.
Yeah. And like Elkton, Elkton has some, but like most of Cecil County is very nice.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like I'm in the middle of publishing my August art blog, and like I'm doing stuff about like the Norfolk Southern line that runs through Port Deposit, and it's like the photos are gorgeous, and I'm like, you know, and it's cool, and Perryville's cool too.
Yeah, it's a beautiful area. There's lots of bits of nature that are nice. The people are kind. There's actually history there that's not terrible, and it's a county with a whole bunch of potential. But, like anything else, and it's probably everywhere, but there's a couple bad apples that,
and they all go to the Walmart there.
I can't say anything about that. I go to the Walmart there, too.
Yeah. Do you go to the Aberdeen one? The Aberdeen one, I got some good shit, too.
Aberdeen, I haven't been there too much. It's kind of out of my way. Oxford every once in a while.
I've heard that. People say the Oxford Walmart is nice.
It kind of is. It can be.
Does it have that, like, Walmartian-ness to it?
Walmartian?
Yeah, that's what I call a Walmart. A Walmartian. They can't be real humans.
Yeah.
Taking it back to aliens, I mean, it's a Walmartian.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking you were getting at there. I mean, it's still a Walmart, like, but it seems like the place is a little bit cleaner.
Yeah.
Walmart is an intelligent company. Like on a broad scale, they are very good with their marketing and knowing their demographics. And so if you go at like, I know,
I love it.
And like, so if you go to like Northeast or Elkton and you're looking for clothes,
it'll be like Made in America, the brand. And I'm like, is it Made in America?
Well, more importantly, you're going to find like, workout clothes and like, like what they're trying to make into like hip and trendy stuff. Whereas if you go to like Oxford, you can actually find like professional clothing for a job. And it's, same thing. You go towards a more urban area, they have a different set of clothing compared to others.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what's the clothing in the Northeast? I haven't been to the Northeast one in a while. Is it moo-moos and scrubs?
Pretty much. One way or another, yeah.
Oh.
And I mean, even like the size of the different sections of the stores are different. Like Northeast, they have shoes and they have some boots. Oxford, it's a little further out there. There's a lot more farm country around it. So they have a massive shoe section with more boots options.
Do you like Tractor Supply?
I like the store. I don't like their politics.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with any of that.
No. The only politics I know is like Chick-fil-A. Of course, I don't.
And Chick-fil-A's flip-flopped recently, too.
Well, I don't eat them because every time I eat their stuff, it gives me the shits.
That's only the spicy chicken.
Yeah. No, it's everything.
Oh, really?
With me. Like, yeah. Well, what did Tractor Supply do?
So there is this whole, and it's borderline conspiracy theory, but
we didn't get to go into conspiracy theories.
Perfect
way to wrap this up.
There is this like, there are social like, I want to say ESG. It's like a social energy score.
Okay.
Based on how like green and efficient the companies are.
Oh God, yes, and it's a big greenwashing campaign.
And so Tractor Supply has like bought into all of that and trying to be very green. And at the same time, they have had issues with their chicken feed and its suppliers. And part of that is because of that the green movement. But they're also talking about like the feed is not having the nutrients for chickens to lay eggs, and it's not keeping them healthy and things like that. And so you kind of question what you're getting from there. And I really don't have an answer on it. It's hard to say what's true.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you start saying, well, the chicken feed's not quality anymore, and they're trying to minimize the nutrition of the chickens.
And can you buy chickens from them?
You could for a long time. You still can, but they're apparently hard to come by, and that's part of the conspiracy, right?
Okay.
So this whole discussion becomes they're hard to come by, the price of those chickens go up. The feed's no longer as quality, so the price of the eggs and the price of chicken goes up, and you're less likely or able to do it on your own with like a little home farmstead. So it goes back into this big global world control conspiracy.
Yeah.
How much is the government playing into it to tell you can't have your own chickens and eggs, and how much are they steering you towards genetically lab-grown meats and things like that.
I'm sure that's the shit's waiting to happen with me.
Yeah.
So do you go down the conspiracy theory rabbit hole a lot?
I read into it because I think it's interesting.
I think it's interesting. It's funny.
It's absolutely interesting. And I think some of them have a bit more validity than others.
Oh, definitely.
One of my favorite conspiracies is the fact that they call them conspiracies.
Yes.
Somebody said that like you take a logical thought and call it a conspiracy and make it sound so far out that people no longer want to listen to it or take it seriously, when in fact some of them could truly be a real idea.
And like we live in an age where like there's so much distrust that like conspiracy theories are taken off like wildfire. But at the same time, I'm like, a lot of these have a basis in real stuff. Like I'll just say studying reality television has really opened up my mind to how the media works and how political theater in relationship with media works and stuff like that. And I'm like, There's a lot more at work at stake than I think people are able to even intellectualize or realize.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, everybody, there's these conspiracy theories and then they kind of like split, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, well, we've gotten this far, but it could be this or it could be that or it could be that. And that's where they lose some of the credibility. And I think a lot of people latch on at those points because depending on what you believe, you can kind of take those anywhere you go.
Yeah.
So.
And I feel like people can have conspiracy theories about everything. I mean, I think you name it, I've seen a conspiracy theory about it.
Yeah. And so I guess like most people, I would probably only ascribe to the ones that are particularly concerning to me or, of any interest.
Yeah, I get that. All right. Well, where can we see you next? Are you going to be at the next open mic night? You got to come to open mic night at the State Theater. I'm there. Big Nick's there.
Yeah, I'm always there for the open mics, and really any time there's a good time. So
it is, and I have to say you're very smart. I really like you. I consider you a friend. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on.
Absolutely.
All right, bitches. I'm going back up to space. Earth is scary.
Deuces,
all right, peace
Zenobia.
out.